Hi, I'm Holly Homer from Kids Activities Blog, and I'm here with Ashley Buffa from Freedom Moms, and we are talking chores and kids. But I think, well, first of all, most of us feel like we need to be doing chores and or the kids need to be doing chores, and it would be helpful to have us but then again, you think, oh, I could just do it easier myself. But there's actually reasons why you want your kids to do chores and not just do it yourself, even though you feel like it's easier sometimes. Ashley, tell us about that.
Yes, it's one of those things. It's like, it would be great if my kids did chores. They don't do chores. I can do it faster without the attitude. I'm just going to do it myself. But the thing is, there have actually been studies. One of them in particular was done by Harvard University. It was a long study. It was like really in depth. They studied a ton of different kids who were required to do chores as children, and then kids who weren't, and into adulthood. The kids that were required to do chores as children were so much more successful as adults. Not just like parenting, not just at school, but like job satisfaction, overall happiness in life. Like, it was astounding, the benefits to the kids. So I'm going to just put it out there. Just putting it out there. If we could have more successful and happy children as adults who don't boomerang back home, right? Because the goal as parents is to release them into the wild and let them,
successfully
launch and not boomerang back and be living in our basement for the next 40 years, right? So if we want to do that, if we want our house to be cleaner than it is, if we want to start teaching our children how to take care of themselves as adults, how to not live in squalor, why not start small and start, in the home with the chores that they're going to need one day to be successful and to actually be able to take care of themselves. But also, why not give them that opportunity to be more successful, more happy, more everything as adults? It just makes sense.
It totally makes sense. And I think this totally was reinforced when I dropped my college age son off at an apartment with 3 other boys his age. And I thought, holy moly, what if none of them had ever cleaned a toilet or cleaned the kitchen or emptied a dishwasher or cooked something? This is like a big science experiment. So.
It is. And, my own mother tried really, really hard to raise me that way. I was one of those difficult kids, and I just gave her so much trouble. And so one day she was trying to teach me how to clean the shower. And I was like, you know what, Mom? I was so snotty. I'm so embarrassed. I was just terrible to her. It's like, you know what, Mom? I don't need to learn how to do this because, and this is where it gets really interesting, because, Mom, I'm going to marry a rich man and have a live-in maid. That statement, we could unpack that for hours, right? There's just so much wrong with that statement. But my mom, because she'd already been raising me for 13 years, she just looked at me and she's like, okay. So she just left. And I was like, yes, I won. But I didn't win because I got married at the very young age of 19 and we didn't have 2 dimes to rub together. There was no.
I'm suspecting he wasn't just wildly rich at that
point. There was no live-in maid at all. And so he was going to night school. I was in the apartment after I got home from work. And I was like, I'm going to mop the floor. And so I did. I tried to. I didn't know what I was doing. So I mopped the floor. But then I realized that my socks were dirty afterwards. And so I called my mom, right? Because that's what you do. You call your mom. So I called my mom. I was like, Mom, can you tell me what I'm doing wrong here? And she said, I have been waiting for this. And then she said, Ashley, you don't need to worry about it. Just have your maid mop the floor for you. And she starts laughing and she hung up on me.
I love your mom so much. And your story just reminds me how important karma is in this world.
Yes, it totally is. So Yeah, don't let your kids be like me. Or do and enjoy it later, but it'll be it'll be a delayed kind of satisfaction.
So if you're thinking, yeah, my kids need to do chores. Ashley actually has an amazing program that she's developed after learning how to do chores herself. And then teaching her 10 children to do chores. She's developed a system that makes it a lot easier on the rest of us who don't want to go through all that pain and agony. And the information on that is below this video. So thank you so much, Ashley. And let's get our kids doing chores. In the long run, it's gonna decrease our time and stress and all that kind of stuff too. Thanks.